My barber, Ali, and I watched United Flight 175 slam into the South Tower as I sat in his chair. Then came news of American Flight 77 hitting the Pentagon and United Flight 93 crashing in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. My company's staff showed up in Moyock as always that Tuesday. Everyone sat transfixed by the TV. Gary Jackson was in Dallas. With commercial flights grounded, he rented a car and began the 28-hour drive to the facility. We were horrified by the news, but unfortunately, we weren't shocked. We had seen a low-cost, low-technology strike slip through our nation's basic security procedures a year earlier in Aden Harbor. Military insiders and intelligence officials had been monitoring, if some of them discounting, swelling anti-American extremism for years. It seemed clear to me that these sorts of attacks were bound to become more common. I remembered seeing that 2 senior colonels in China's People's Liberation Army had gone so far as to publish an entire book in 1999 called Unrestricted Warfare. The book advocated a multitude of means, both military and particularly non-military, to strike at the United States during times of conflict, according to the CIA's Foreign Broadcast Information Service, which translated the text. Hacking into websites, targeting financial institutions, terrorism, using the media, and conducting urban warfare are among the methods proposed. Watching the Twin Towers collapse on TV, I could see the American public had suddenly come face to face with unrestricted warfare at home. The question was what our politicians would do about it. At the time, those of us on the Blackwaters staff didn't care much for policy debates. We were soldiers and sailors and cops and Marines. We thought pragmatically, with an eye toward the future. Soon after 9/11, while some talking heads debated whether we should strike back at all against those who murdered American civilians, conversation in Moyock centered on what the inevitable strike would look like and what role Blackwater could play. Certainly, we could train the special operations guys who would hunt down the Al-Qaeda leadership, but we wanted to do more and needed to find someone who would let us help. As focused as I'd been on building the company and tending to my family, I hadn't worried about keeping up with my few political contacts in Washington. I hadn't set foot in the White House complex since leaving as an intern years before, and President George W. Bush's national security team was dominated at that point by career professionals and President Bill Clinton's political holdovers. The closest I ever got to any of them was when Joan and I bought tickets to the president's inaugural ball 8 months earlier, which is to say we had no relationship at all. I rifled through my desk in Moyock for the one business card I had for somebody at the CIA. His name was Buzzy, Alvin Bernard Buzzy Krongard, the agency's executive director, whom I'd known since Krongard's son, a Navy SEAL, had trained at Blackwater. Krongard agreed to meet right away. Why the urgency? Besides wanting to provide training, we knew we had intelligence that could help in the fight. We brought contact information for a warlord. Amid Afghanistan's ever-shifting historical political winds, Abdul Rashid Dostum transformed himself more often and more successfully than anybody else. In the era of Soviet control, the ethnic Uzbek worked for a time as a communist union boss at a gas field, then joined the Afghan military in 1978 to battle the insurgent Mujahideen, who sought to oust the Russians. In just a few short years, Dostum rose to the rank of Army General, commanding a 20,000-strong militia in the northern provinces of Afghanistan. By 1997, thanks in large part to his willingness to switch sides whenever it became politically expedient, including aligning himself with the new Mujahideen government when it successfully took control in 1992 before defecting again to ultimately join the Northern Alliance, the 43-year-old Dostum lorded it over a sort of multi-ethnic 6-province miniature state in Afghanistan's northern steppe. Its main city was Mazar-e-Sharif, a thriving home to 2 million, including the cantankerous leader who reportedly once put a thief to death by running over him with a tank.